Say something intelligent, Kirk.
Snowberry, tastes like snowberry.
Works, it runs.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, I connected that, right?
Which?
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of South Down Garage. My name is Kurt. We're back working on the Explorer, and we're taking some parts off. Today, we need to get at the fuel injectors to take those out. And to do that, we need to drain the coolant, so that's what we're going to do. We've got a clean bucket. I would recommend grabbing a clean bucket yourself, and then you're going to get underneath, and you're going to remove all those bolts. Once you have all those bolts out, you can access the lower tray, and then you can start draining the coolant. You want to make sure you have the right tools before you start this job. You either have a vacuum fill system, which I do have. However, today we're going to use this, and I'm going to first find out if I have the right stuff to make this happen. You're going to want to make sure you're taking off that negative cable there. So we've drained the coolant. We've disconnected this upper rad hose, this hose here, and we're just disconnecting connectors because I'm not sure exactly what I'm all supposed to do to get this off. I don't know where this hard line goes to. These connectors, there's sort of one here for the breather tube. They're not too bad. You just slide this tab back and then it pops open. This one looks like it's a dual tab, so I'm gonna have to pop it from both sides so I can get the front open. There's the faces here. You gotta put a screwdriver in here, and you're gonna try to pry these open very gently, of course. See if I can attempt this with you guys watching here. Absolutely do not want to break these, because if I do, I'm a poop creek. Come on. There you go. And off it goes. That's where my blow-off valve is connected into. Is here. It's right off the throttle body. So if that's disconnected there, push it in. So you can just, to take this end off, you just push in these two sides here. So taking the intake out of here is like, I mean, if you do this for a living, it's probably not that bad, but I'm gonna give you a heads up. This little thing right here, it's stuck to the post. It's stuck to that post right there on the intake, that little piece there. You have to like literally like massage it up. You're literally pulling this out of the way. Gingerly, might I add, just so you have enough room to wiggle it up and then try to get angled as straight up as possible, and then pull it out. Not the easiest thing to get out, not the worst thing I've ever taken out, but not the easiest. Most fun is what you saw before while I was trying to take that bolt out at the very rear. That's really fun to get to. Thankfully, I got a little bit smarter and I took those lines off the back there and made my life a heck of a lot easier. The point is not to make yourself freak out. The point is to do the best you can to make your life easier. So what I'm going to do now, because I've got some little bit of entrails sitting around there, is I'm going to get the vacuum in there, I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to stuff the intake runners with some paper towel to make sure that no dirt or gunk or anything like that get in there. And then I'm going to start taking these lines off the back here, and then I can start disconnecting the connectors along the injectors. And once that's done, I can literally pull out the injector fuel rail, and it looks like one side has to come out first and then the other side can come out. So it looks like the passenger side one has to come out first because of that piece up there. We want to make sure we pull this part out first, and then we'll pull this side out, and we can take everything apart, put new seals in. This is going to be the most important part of the whole thing. I bought seals from Ford. They're not cheap. They're about $140 a set. I bought 2 sets because I'm swapping injectors with somebody else. So next, we want to make sure we get all this apart. And I will try to show you as much as I can because I know I've looked online. There is no videos like this. So hopefully this video helps you with your struggles. Maybe do this yourself. I'm gonna let you know, regular mechanic says it takes about 7 hours to do this, so just allot yourself a few days. Don't keep going if you're frustrated. Stop, go take a break, watch some TV, relax. I couldn't sleep, so I'm up here. It's like probably 4 in the morning, and I'm out here wrenching this thing out because I want to get this out today. I want to have to get some more stuff off here, but that's another video. So today we're just worrying about the fuel rail to get that out and deal with that, okay? I used this little piece here. I wedged it in right here and just pop this connector off. This connector, of course, has to be removed from here in order to pull this whole harness out. So now it's free and clear. Now I can go ahead and back these bolts out. I'll break all these loose, why not? Gotta take them all off anyways. There we go. One out. Get these bolts out. Oh shoot. Forgot. I didn't take that back line off. Oh. That's not very smart, Kurt. Can you? There you go. It's loose. I know it's really hard to see what I'm doing because my arm's in the way. You're gonna have to trust me. I don't know you. That's right. There we go. Done. Okay, so that's loose. I should probably loosen it from this side maybe. Nah. Forget about it. There you go. ready and out. Boom, baby.
I got that one wrong, pal.
Under pressure. So that's how it's supposed to look when it goes on. It's a little warm up. These have been in the freezer getting a little bit smaller, and then we just have to straighten this out afterwards. So 700 degrees, 10 seconds, not 15 seconds, definitely not 20 seconds. And that seems to be the sweet spot. Make sure on these things that you have this piece facing up when you're putting this on. You can also technically put them on a baking sheet and put them on the oven at 150 degrees, but this works in your own shop. It's been 6 weeks since the last time I hit the record button on this Explorer for these injectors. You want to know why? These right here, these are retainers. They are non-removable, and if you remove them, they are junk. And they're not readily available, so if they break, you are up a creek without a paddle. How do I know that? It's quite simple. I lived it. Now, if you are taking these out of the fuel rail, you're planning on reusing these nice O-rings and everything else for someone else to live a La Vida Explorer Loca, be very careful. So inside this fuel rail, there is no machine surface. And why is that important? Because there's nothing that sets this O-ring in place. If you don't have an O-ring, if you don't have this retainer here, and you don't have the O-rings on, this injector can go all the way in as far as it can go. There is no stopping point, so literally what holds it in place is when it gets bolted in, and it's the pressure of the fuel in there that keeps these O-rings seated in the downward position. Having said that, there may be a way for these O-rings to come off. And the reason this retainer is here is to stop them from moving up. There is no groove in here, so you can literally move these O-rings up and down without anything stopping them. Once they're in place, should they fall out? I've known of O-rings coming out on high horsepower applications. I've talked to multiple fuel injection shops, and everybody says the same thing. It shouldn't happen. Shouldn't isn't good enough. So don't, when you do this job, be so careful about these retainers. And if, for whatever reason, you break them, let me know. I might be selling them on my website. I've got to figure that part out, but who knows? Maybe we will get that going shortly. If I do get it going, I will leave the link right here in the screen. If not, when I do get it going, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now we have to start putting this thing back together, and I brought some fuel so that we can have some lubrication to put these O-rings and injectors back in there. Oh my. One. Two. So remember how I mentioned before that I needed to replace these O-rings? Well, the only O-rings that you have to ever replace on these is these top ones if they're damaged. If they're not damaged, don't touch them because of retainer. This bottom one here is what's going to be an issue for you, potentially. So if this O-ring is too large, the issue you will have is, well, if it was previously not installed properly, what will happen is it will ride up this, and then there is a potential it will push these injectors out. I do know that because it did happen to my friend's Explorer. If this O-ring here is damaged or pieces of it are up here, I would replace them. If not, I mean, just take a risk. You'll find out really quickly when you're on the drag strip, because it's not going to fail when you're driving around town normally. It's going to be when you're trying to show off for your friends, and then everybody's going to be like, ah, that's what you get for buying a Ford. This is what you'll need to change if you are buying used injectors, or if you're returning yours back to stock because you're planning to move on to something else, like what happened to my friend, and you'll have to replace this then. So what we have here are the two different injectors. I was told these aren't supposed to go back and forth, but you can move even the stock ones on top of here. So just something to know. I'll leave a link in the description where you can buy these. And now you cannot painfully go through what I did, which would be lovely. So you don't have to do this, but I like to do this. I'm going to dip it in some fuel before I put this into the engine. Do not lubricate this. Okay? So just remember that, this will sit like this, and then we'll line that up with the fuel rail right here, so there's notch, and we'll just slide that in like that. Once you torque it down, it'll be in place until the next time you decide to modify your Explorer, or maybe you've just got a problem you're trying to sort out. So if you're going to put these in, make sure you put these clips in first. When you torque these properly, it actually flattens this, which makes these non-reusable. I would also recommend that if you're doing this yourself, that you actually go and get the correct kit. It's about $70 per bank of injectors, so they give you the whole thing for that, minus the retainer. And then if you ever have to change these O-rings, you cut the O-rings. You do not try to put it over the retainer, or you'll have the same thing that happened here where you had all of them come out. And if you're going to remove it, you want to use a lubrication, and just take your time. I mean, rushing is just going to leave you with your vehicle unable to start or run. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this bank in first, because the other one has the fuel line connector. So all we're going to do is, I should plug that back in so we don't have that problem. Lock that in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the fuel line on the back of this fuel rail before dropping it in, so we don't have to mess around. And because I've already done this once, I hopefully will remember which side is which. We've got the fuel rail in place, so really hard to see, but way in the back here is a fuel line. Can you see it? That fuel line right there. So in order to get that loose, there is another, see this basically right back here. So that has to get loosened. It's the line up to your high pressure pump, which I have the Xtreme-Di high pressure pump in here, which I switched out. Sorry for not showing more information on that. Getting this line on, if you don't buy the kit, not fun. Getting that line off, getting this line off, not easy as well. So in order to install this pump, you have to install these lower bolts. Oh, that's hard to see. You install these lower bolts first. You leave this top unbolted here, and then it swivels. And it goes right down in the bottom there. Sorry, Xtreme-Di is the name of the company that does that. I want to give them a shout out. They're very helpful with the injector stuff. Thank you very much. And then once that's bolted in place, then you can bolt these upper bolts here. They're all Allen rather than anything. So what I had to do is I had to loosen this line off here. Then I had to loosen that other one way down there, right beside the green thing there. It's still part of the line. Oh, it's hard to see, sorry. And then I was able to get this line. Yeah, you can see the end of that bracket there. We're getting ready to put the intake back in, which means one thing. We've got the fuel rails in. So if you want to take a look down there. So everything has been torqued to 18 foot-pounds. We've torqued those back lines over here. These lines at the very back here. Probably easier if I grab this. So that we put on while we were trying to install these injector fuel rails. We made sure that everything back here is tight. That fuel line there is tight. This fuel line over here, as the adapter is on the very back, I showed you that picture before. We tightened all that up. So now that we have everything out of the runners, we're gonna pull everything out of here, and then we can go ahead and try to fight this in, and it should be fun for you to watch me painfully try to suffer putting this in. Remember what I said before, there is this way back here, this here connects to right to this point. It is for your
emissions.
Yep. So it plugs into the side of your throttle body here. It's also what we're using. Blow-off valve is plugged into. So let's try to manipulate this in here. And remember, be calm. Take your time. Don't rush. You can always take an extra day to do something, but you can't go and buy another intake and have it here in less than 6 weeks. So take your time. If you feel frustrated, take a break. That's it. That's it. Slowly. You also want to grunt too. That helps. Get in there. You little monkey. There's a head whacker. There we are. Boy, that's going in really awful. But you probably don't want to put it in sideways like I am.
One of your bolts probably fell down.
You're probably right about those bolts.
There's captured bolts. So.
Yes. Oh, hang on. I don't know if that's in or not. Nope.
Try one you can get to easily.
Well, I was gonna go for the one that was the hardest to get to. That way I could channel my inner chi. I believe these are not 10 mil heads. They're probably 8 mil.
Yeah, that's in.
Okay. Hey, you know what? when you have a friend here and they're mechanical like you are, and they're willing to like take a look at something for you
And hold the camera.
just let them do it. Your best friend is the friend that's standing right beside you at the time you're doing this job. Let's be honest.
What are you trying to do, Kurt?
I'm trying to start the Explorer.
Which Explorer? The blue thing?
Yes.
Does it actually start?
I know most people don't think Fords run very often.
Hey, I'm a Ford guy. Watch out.
I just need to put the battery back together here. You know, all these.
Electricity's important.
There's a lot of sparky going on here.
Yeah. Flashy lights going
It's probably been a minute since this thing. There was a little going on there.
You need to wash this thing.
Yes. Oh, thanks, Dash View. All right, let's see what happens here, everyone.
Should I hold the fire extinguisher?
I wonder if I should lower the hoist down so I can actually get in here properly.
Probably.
Let's do that. Yeah. There's only one way to find out.
Something intelligent. Good.
Don't let fear of common sense hold you back. Yeah, saying less is more intelligent. Right. I'm gonna walk around this way.
Do a walk around.
Yeah, I can get by. All right, Brandy.
It'll start right up. You watch.
It'll start right up. Forward heaters.
Cycle ignition.
Well, there's no fuel in it, so I probably ready?
Yeah. I was gonna have to relearn everything.
Why not? An injector unplugged?
What's that?
I hope I don't have an injector unplugged.
I hope not too. I saw you plug those 3 in. Good thing is I can't smell any fuel leaks.
Did I unplug coils?
Right there.
Where?
That one right, that wire right there that's hanging down goes on that one.
Oh. I bet you she'll. I haven't. Yeah. It'll run a lot better. There we go.
5 cylinders.
5-cylinder.
And it runs. I'll
Wow.
try it. I told you I thought I saw one unplugged.
You did say that. And as soon as it started doing that, I was like, you know, Ryan is going to be like, look.
That's way better. That is a hefty little blow-off valve, isn't it? Do it again. Okay, we're doing mine next.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but then I remembered my camera's recording. I'm normally a nice person in real life. I am a nice person. I always make everybody around me better.
Yeah. That's it. There, is that your ear?
Oh.
Say something intelligent, Kurt.
Hi. Snowberry tastes like snowberry.
It works, it runs. Ooh, that's bright. That's stock tune?
Ford
Or is that
Performance.
Ford Performance? Yeah.
You're a loser. It's because you don't have a cool Explorer ST like mine.
Yeah.
You can hear that thing like right away. It's just
Yeah.
with the exhaust. Oh no.
What?
Oh, I connected that, right?
Which?
Well, yes, in fact, I actually did have a boost leak, which I found out when I got back here. I fixed that one, went out for a drive, flexed on F-150, had another boost leak, which was a lot more embarrassing. When the charge pipe blows off, sometimes these things tend to fall in their face, and that's exactly what happened. So I knew exactly what it was because I've been in a vehicle where that happened before. That's why we take things for test drives after we do all this work. When you do tons of work to something, you want to make sure you have no issues, and you want to give yourself enough time to do that, maybe not right before work, as I've done with the Infinity. Bad idea. You know how I know that. If you like this video and you want to take a look at some of the things in this video, such as the retainers, or perhaps you want to help out and get one of these hats, then hit a link in the description for my store for parts and my store for merch. This is what's coming up next. It's done its shut off thing. It's in the ignition on sequence, and we're going to shut you off for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and turn you back on. And then hit OK. That's next time on South Down Garage. If you guys are wondering what to watch next, maybe take a look at this video over here where I show you how to look for boost leaks. Just like we talked about, you can do it one of two ways. You can drive around until you've fixed all the boost leaks, or you can get a little kit and help you make that a lot quicker. I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any more content, because we have a lot more Explorer content coming your way. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care, and we'll see you on another episode of South Down Garage. Bye for now.